Hi. Amy Scott Grant here, your favorite spiritual ass kicker. Oh boy. I want to talk to you about something today, but more than likely, some people are going to be offended. I mean, I know it's true. Like, some people get offended by everything, but this is a topic that could create some butt hurt, okay? That's not my intention. It's just probably what's going to happen. But at any rate, I don't care. Sometimes when you tell the truth, people get butt hurt, and that's just all there is to it. So that's what I'm going to do, is tell the truth. So you may have heard this expression, recovering Catholic. I can't remember where I first heard it. It was years ago, and it was casually slipped into conversation, and I was like, whoa, what did you just say? And they repeated it, and I went, wow, that is just so perfect. Like, to me, it perfectly captured my experience. And I thought, well, I must not be alone in this if there's already a phrase for it, right? So if you haven't heard this phrase before, recovering Catholic, basically what it is it means someone who was raised Catholic or grew up in a Catholic environment or a Catholic household and feels like they no longer resonate with that dogma and that teaching and that organization. And so they've had to kind of undo some of the teaching and repetition that was ingrained into them. And I'm not just talking about when someone says, may the force be with you, and you go, and also with you. I'm talking about some of the not funny, less pleasant stuff, right? Like that we're lowly sinners and that, we should feel lucky that Jesus was basically slaughtered for our salvation. And oh boy, like we could really go on about this, but that's not really the purpose of why I'm talking to you today. I know for me, years ago when I first heard that term, it was actually really liberating. I don't know if it was the term so much that was liberating or this idea that other people felt that too, right? Because I'll tell you a story. So I grew up Catholic. I went to Catholic school my entire life. I even graduated from a Jesuit university for my undergrad, right? And it wasn't until I was working on my master's that I was at a non-Catholic learning institution. So that's like, close to 20 years in Catholic schools, right? And grew up in a very conservative Catholic household as well. And if you grew up Catholic, I don't even need to go into it. Like, you understand the whole world of, I don't just mean getting good at fundraising and selling world's finest chocolate, disgusting bars, right? I'm talking about like the whole world of what it means to be Catholic. And when I heard that term for the first time, recovering Catholic, I just thought it just captured it so well and so perfectly. And of course, as a writer, I love words and stuff, but it somehow made me feel freer, right? And this idea that a phrase even existed because other people were having that same kind of experience. So I go through all this Catholic school, right? Then there's this disenchantment with Catholicism that I went through, right? Then, and you might be able to relate to this, then I was about to have my first child, and I thought, what's going to happen? Like, am I just not, like, how does that work? I didn't even know how to talk to my kid. I mean, granted, when you're having your first child, you don't know anything, but I thought, I don't even know, like, how do I teach them anything about God? And so it was like, we need to start going to church because we're having a kid, right? That was a terrible idea because all that happened was it reconfirmed why I didn't want to be there in the first place. And it brought up all of this stuff from my childhood that was like, there's no way I'm saddling my kid with all of these burdens. And I know every culture has its version of guilt, right? And insanity. I mean, that's kind of the whole relatability aspect of My Big Fat Greek Wedding, right? You've seen that movie. It's like, yeah, you might not be Greek, and yet you can totally relate to what's happening because you have an aunt like that, and your mom says things like that, and your family pressures you like that, right? So you might not even be Catholic. You could be Protestant or some other religion that you grow up. I've had clients that were Mormon, Mennonite, Lutheran, all sorts of Protestant as well as Catholic, recovering all of those, right? But I remember thinking, I'm having this child and I don't know like how to convey this essence of the universe and spirit and whatever. And so I thought that was the solution. Oh, we have to go find a church. Whoa, wrong answer. For me, it was definitely the wrong answer. It was not Catholicism. So that didn't work. So then I kind of went on this quest like, well, I've never even looked at other churches. To me, my husband's Jewish, right? Again, the whole has its own culture of guilt and whatnot and that kind of stuff. But it was like, And so we sort of went on this search for other things. But I've realized in all my years as a spiritual ass kicker, I've realized like how many things we've had to undo, not just me for myself, but for many of my clients that we were taught as children that were really damaging and oppressive. Okay. So recovering Catholic just means growing up inside an organized religion did a number on you, right? And was oppressive and had a lot of shame and guilt and really adverse experiences and feelings and emotions associated with it. And so as an adult, if you consider yourself a recovering Catholic, it means that you're finding your way again. And I want you to know you're not alone, okay? There are a lot of us out there. And furthermore, the things that you loved maybe when you were a child, the community, the sense of belonging in your church, even though what the church stands for, you may have grown away from that or grown outside of that, or chosen different sets of beliefs beyond that, you may still find yourself longing for that sense of community, but in a more open, accepting way, right? Which is part of what we do inside Club Clarity. So if you're on Facebook, I hope you'll request to join Club Clarity because I'd love to have you in there with us. But anyway, now you know what a recovering Catholic is. You might even be one yourself or know someone who is that. And if I can help you clear that old, stuck shame and disappointment and frustration and this idea that there's this all-powerful being who's watching and logging your every move and keeping track of it, and that you had to clean your soul of every mistake every week. I mean, if these are things that I can help you shift and put to rest once and for all so that you can move forward and create the kind of life that you want and be the kind of person you want, then definitely let me know. But we would love to have you inside of Club Clarity. All right, I will see you next time.